One minute, Osasu was laughing with his friends. The next, he was gone, without a sound, without a trace. Everyone searched for him, all to no avail, leaving the mother in shock. It was the last day of school, Christmas was near. But instead of going home, Osasu vanished, during a simple game of hide and seek. No one saw it happen. No one knew where he went. Until it was far too late. This is the story of how play turned deadly, and a family's world shattered forever. As the story unfolds, you will see the reason parents, teachers, uncles, aunties, elderly brothers or sisters, must caution and guide children on how to play. But first, subscribe to this channel, give this video a like, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss more interesting and educational stories like this one. Now the story begins. Have you ever heard a child laugh, not just laugh, but laugh from the belly, with innocence so pure, so wild, it could melt stone? That was the perfect description of Osasu. He wasn't just any boy, he was intelligent, one could call him a powerhouse. He loved to play as much as he loved to read, a 12-year-old with too many dreams and not enough time in a day to chase them all. His laughter was contagious, his footsteps echoed with mischief, and on that particular day, the day everything changed, Osasu was at his happiest. It was the last day of the school term. Christmas was calling, and every student in the boarding school felt the pull, like a song playing just beyond the school gates. Parents were on their way, bags were packed, and joy was overflowing in their hearts. You could smell it in the air, mixed with the scent of freshly cut grass and fried akara from the kitchen. Osasu's dormitory buzzed with activity. Students zipped bags, counted provisions, shared sweets and promises. I'll call you, let's write letters, see you next term. But Osasu wasn't in a hurry to leave. He wanted to play one last time, and not just any game. Osasu wanted to play hide and seek. One last round, Uche said, his eyes shining like the evening sun. I'll go hide first, Osasu shouted, dashing off before the others could argue. They laughed and chased after him, not knowing those would be the last sounds of his voice anyone would hear. They scattered across the dorm block, running, ducking, laughing. Osasu turned a corner, spotted an open locker, wide enough to squeeze in. Perfect, he whispered with a grin. He crawled inside, pulling the door slightly closed behind him, but then, the door to the locker clicked, silence. From inside, he pushed, nothing, he banged lightly, still nothing. Osasu's heart began to race, but he didn't panic, not yet. It was just a locker after all, someone would open it soon. Outside, Emika and Uche were still looking. Then, they heard footsteps approaching. It was the school warden. Hey, you two, what are you still doing here? Uche and Emika froze. No time for nonsense. Take your bags and go to the gate. Your parents are waiting. Scolded and confused, they obeyed. After all, they assumed Osasu had already left. Why wouldn't they? That was the last time they thought of the game. The bell rang again, car horns honked outside. Parents called their children's names. And Osasu's mother? She stood by the gate, scanning every face. Every figure that emerged from the building gave her hope. But Osasu never came out. Minutes passed, then an hour, then two. Maybe he's helping a teacher, someone suggested. Maybe he went to the toilet. But when they checked, no Osasu. They found his bag still in his locker, untouched. That was the moment the laughter stopped. Panic set in like a shadow that refused to lift. Teachers spread out. Students joined the search, every room, every bush, every classroom, combed through again and again. It was like an endless search with no positive result. Everyone got tired and was left with no other option but assume Osasu has been kidnapped. The gate closed, parents left with their children, except for one. Osasu's mother refused to leave. And that night was long. Endless, torture in slow motion. Back at home, she sat in the living room, surrounded by silence. The Christmas decorations now looked like mockery, the blinking lights, taunting reminders of joy that had gone missing. Osasu's parents informed the police of his disappearance. Posters were printed, missing boy, name, Osasu, last seen, boarding school. Radio stations, WhatsApp groups, community vigils. But the silence, it stayed. And then came Christmas. While other families gathered around fires and opened presents, Osasu's home was wrapped in black. His room untouched, his slippers by the door, his toothbrush was still wet from that last morning. 3 weeks passed. Have you ever waited 3 weeks for news that could either save or destroy you? And then it happened. A cleaner, new to the school, was dusting the dorm lockers ahead of resumption. She reached one that felt heavier than usual. She opened it and screamed. People ran, teachers, staff, security. Inside that locker was Osasu, or what was left of him. His little frame, curled, dried, still. Eyes closed, mouth slightly open, one shoe missing, his school ID tag still hanging from his neck. Time stopped. A whisper swept through the school. Osasu never left, he never left. The news hit home like a storm. Osasu's mother collapsed at the police station. His father sat on the floor, arms around his knees, rocking like a child. My son, they said he likely died of suffocation. That the locker jammed shut from the outside, that he probably called out, maybe even screamed, but no one heard. No one came. How could they? Everyone had assumed he was safe, on his way home, ready for Christmas. But Osasu died, hiding, waiting, hoping. Because of a game. Because of one careless moment. Dear parent listening right now, I know you're shaken, you should be. Because this could have been anyone's child. What games do your children play? Where do they hide? Who's watching? Are we too quick to assume they're fine, just because they're laughing? Play is beautiful, but without guidance, it can become deadly. We must do better, teach better. Watch closer, ask questions, walk the extra mile. Because one missed moment, one ignored absence, can cost a lifetime. Osasu's death was not just a tragedy. It was a warning. If you're a parent, a teacher, a guardian, or simply someone who cares about children, let this story change the way you think. Talk to your child today. Talk to their teachers. Reinforce the importance of safety, even in fun. Especially in fun. And if this story touched you, don't just cry. Think of an action to take in educating children on how to play safe. And then share it. Share Osasu's story so that no other family has to go through what Osasu's family went through. Let Osasu's voice echo one more time, through you. If you've learned something here today, subscribe to this channel. Like this video. Drop a comment. Tell us in the comment section the advice you have for parents, guardians, and what you're going to do differently. And please, turn on your notification bell, so you don't miss the next story that could save a life. Thank you for watching. Never you forget Osasu's story.